Praises to the Most High Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Jemus who well. Shalom to the elect. Hope this video is edifying. I want to get straight into it. It says, U.S. government may launch new effort to seize private property, says J.P. Morgan CEO. It's a short little article. It says J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says the U.S. government may need to seize private property to fuel one of its most high-profile initiatives. In a new annual letter to shareholders, Dimon says, it's probably Dimon. Dimon says government agencies could evoke eminent domain and forcibly obtain private property to propel the push for clean energy. Dimon says recently passed legislation, including the Inflation Reduction Act, have the potential to create more than $1 trillion in clean technology development, but he believes immediate action and a serious sense of urgency are needed to effectively implement clean energy policies in a timely manner. Local, state, and federal agencies all have the power to utilize eminent domain to allocate private property. The Trump administration organized the most recent federal effort to enact eminent domain in its push to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, which, was a flop. He didn't finish building that. A study from the Government Accountability Office, GAO, says the administration seized 135 private tracts of land in Texas by either signing agreements with the owners or by going to court to seize their property. And you gotta look into them little derailings and stuff like that, because them chemical spills, they're probably just going to the people and offer them, a little money to take whatever properties is spilled onto. So these people are, they're moving real strategic with it. I know in the UK, all land is essentially owned by the Queen, and she can technically seize any property she wants. Of course, the devils don't implement it, but when that time comes, he's gonna come down having great wrath. So who knows what these people are gonna do in that time. I'm gonna get a quick scripture before I show a couple videos. This is Micah 2:2. And they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, we be utterly spoiled. Ye have changed a portion of my people. How have ye removed it from me? Turning away, ye have divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord. So this little demon here, he sees something, like that little meme or that man. I see booty, I take the booty. This is how Esau be. You see something that you have, he'll just come and take it. And I know they're closing down them Walmarts, the Walmarts in America. And you might have dissidents who I'd probably most definitely are not gonna want to go with his plan. So that's just another way for him to come in using the law and just straight up seize your property and just kick you out to the curb. And I was watching some videos about this, and I think a lawyer goes into the legal aspect of it.
Civil forfeiture is a legal fiction under which the government can take your property if they allege that the property was being used in conjunction with a crime, but they don't have to charge you with a crime or convict you of a crime in order to keep the property. People can lose their property through civil forfeiture despite having never been convicted of a crime. The government gets to benefit from the use of that property or the proceeds from that property, and the property owner is left with nothing. That's un-American. If the government is going to seize your property because you allegedly used it to commit a crime, they should have to charge you and convict you of that crime in order to do so. Civil forfeiture is unfair because there's an ironclad rule in the American criminal justice system, which is that you're innocent until you're proven guilty. But civil forfeiture turns that on its head. The government doesn't have to ultimately prove anything. If you claim you're innocent, you have to prove you're innocent. You bear that burden. That's fundamentally unfair, and it's fundamentally unconstitutional. Civil forfeiture warps law enforcement priorities, and it threatens private property rights. And that's why the Goldwater Institute is fighting in legislatures across the country to reform civil...
Yeah, no, that's enough of that. No one cares what you're going to do. At the end of the day, you're still going to do what you're going to do. And people are not going to have a choice. This is Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. You know, when the Lord comes back, Jake is still gonna be in Esau's hand, and he's gonna basically enslave his own people. That's how wicked his man is. To whom is evil, to who is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good. So this man don't care about nothing, and he's making all these little plans. You see all these people losing their jobs, the Walmart closures, you got all these wars kicking off. So a lot of stuff is happening all at once, it's like you can blink and you can miss a whole bunch of stuff that's happened, it's speeding up and it's getting way worse. And, I'm here for it, as Jake in the world like to say, I'm here for it.
Suggests government seize private property to quicken climate initiatives. Let's dive into the details, shall we? In his annual letter to shareholders, J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon suggested that the United States government and climate consensus corporations may have to seize citizens' private property to enact climate initiatives while there's still time to stave off climate disasters. Dimon declared Tuesday that governments, businesses, and non-governmental organizations may need to invoke eminent domain in order to get the adequate investments fast enough for grid, solar, wind, and pipeline.
Pretty much right. Eminent domain is a legal term that describes the government using its power to expropriate private property for public use, meaning the government provides private owners proper compensation. And what is proper compensation? They're going to give you what they deem to be fair. I mean, I was watching a video earlier with the elder, and he was talking about, he's an elder to me, big bro, non-stop of the block, and he was talking about how, in Egypt, people were coming to Joseph and they were willing to sell themselves, for need of bread. So if it gets real bad, the people, the government might offer you food, and you might give up your house. Who knows how Esau's gonna spin this around, because he has a lot of wicked devices. John 10:10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So only the Lord is really gonna be able to save Jake out of this. And there's sometimes, when I'm driving or out and about or on gym or whatever, I listen to podcasts or whatever, and Jake really has this this whole I'm powerful, you have money and resources equals power and all of this. They really feel like there's somebody in Esau's kingdom, even though they also understand that they're not, but they think that money makes a difference. In that day, that money is not gonna mean anything, because you've been stocking up treasures for yourself on earth, and it's gonna be nothing but cankered gold in that day. Esau's not gonna care about that. He's gonna want your soul. He just wants you to give up and just sell yourself to him. He's not gonna be interested in your money. It's gonna be worthless anyway. All the money soon be worthless.
Initiatives. Eminent domain is a legal term that describes the government using its power to expropriate private property for public use, provided the government provides private owners proper compensation. In his letter, which touted the success of the financial services company in 2002, as well as providing shareholders a vision for its future, Dimon made the case that it might be
Dimon made a case that it might be time to justify eminent domain in America to ease the climate crisis. According to the CEO, such drastic measures may be employed because time is short, and again, the devil shall come down having great wrath because he have a short time. The window for action to avert the costliest impacts of global climate change is closing, and he said, along with mentioning his concern that the ongoing war in Ukraine is roiling trade relations across Europe and Asia. And because of them little sanctions that they did, Russia basically went to China and they needed to offload all this oil. So China's getting oil for dirt cheap. I think I mentioned this before. They're getting it for dirt cheap, and they're selling it back to Europe. This is the law talks about there not being any wisdom in teaming. I mean, you gotta be stupid to sanction where you was getting cheap oil, So you can't buy from them. It's like I have somebody. Say you buy a key from somebody. You go to them. You don't buy from them no more. You don't go to Mac no more. You go to Joseph. You know what I mean? And then what Mac does is he sells to Joseph, and you was buying it for 10 from Mac, and then Joseph sells it to you for 12, and he makes $2,000 instead of going to Mac because you got a beef with him. You know, some self-imposed beef. Yo, these people are dumb as hell, man.
Getting the adequate investments fast enough for grid, solar, wind.
Let's go back a bit.
The CEO justified his potential government and corporate seizure of public property, saying that we simply are not getting the adequate investments fast enough for grid, solar, wind, and pipeline initiatives. This guy runs a bank. If you want investment, invest, right? Diamond concluded his letter's statements on climate change saying polarization, paralysis, and basic lack of analysis cannot keep us from addressing one of the most complex challenges of our time.
And this is this is Esau's playbook basically. You know, the elder again, he went into it. Everybody's really actually understanding this devil for what he is, because he comes in with his problem solution. He creates a problem and then he creates a solution, and then he makes you pay for both. You know, you're the one that come up with all these these fuel injected cars when you could have used any other renewable energy source, because you knew it was finite and you knew you could make money off it. And then, you know, when it stopped serving you because the Saudis are literally bent you over a barrel, now you want to talk about, you know, electric power. And then you're now going to implement a whole bunch of taxes talking about clean energy bill, which is all bullcrap. I was watching one video where some guy, you know, I think he's an Edomite, but I don't know. I'm assuming he's an Edomite based on what he looks like. You know, his spirit might be different, but, you know, he was talking about they're basically going to introduce these new energy bills, and you're going to have to pay out your ass to be able to basically upgrade your home to be in line with these new laws, sanctions, and basically these laws that you have to abide by in order to meet these guidelines, you know, to meet the energy criteria. Because say that you create 200 grams of CO2 every 6 months. I don't know the figures, but just for example, and they're saying, well, you know what, we wanna take that down to 50 CO2, you know, whatever. We want to take it down to 50, you know. So then you have to buy all of this stuff for your house, you know, solar panels. You might have to uproot the electrical systems, you know, just to be in line, just to meet that. And that's going to cost people a whole lot of money, and people are not going to be able to afford that, because it might cost anywhere from between 50 and 100k. You know, people are not going to be able to afford that, and they're going to use that to basically take your home. What these people are doing, what they're planning is so evil, man. And you know, they talk about you shall own nothing and you shall be happy. So this man's heart is continually evil. Ecclesiastes 5:10, he that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them. And what good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholding of them with their eyes? The sleep of a labourer man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. So even me, I do a labouring job. You know, when I finish, I can come home and just go. Sometimes I go straight to. I'll be nodding. If I take the bus home, I'll be nodding off on the bus. You know, but these rich people, they're constantly thinking about money to the point where they rack themselves, and you know, they can't get a good night's sleep. You know, it's like that PTSD kind of stuff, man. You do so much wickedness that you can never really rest. You know what I mean? Because you don't really even. These people don't even do a hard day's work. And I remember Elder Apostle Ramla was going into how these people never work, and in the kingdom you're gonna work them so hard that these people are gonna pass out because they're not used to it, man. They ain't got the muscles like that. These Edomites are hella weak, man. Proper base ass people. Proverbs 6:30, and I'm gonna close out with this. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso committeth well, that's going to something else. But the Lord talks about, he shall restore sevenfold. And when Esau gets caught, when the Lord comes and he's found to have Jacob in his hand, under his subjection, the Lord's gonna make him pay sevenfold for what he's done. You're gonna have to build up the kingdom, and man's gonna play little games with these Edomites, like duck the boulder. You know what I mean? Let's see if you can duck all these rocks while you dance. You know what I mean? Hey, I know the brothers' hearts is gonna be meditating evil on Esau in the kingdom, man. Because you're just watching these people, you can't wait for that day to come. That's pretty much it. Shalom to the elect. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. By Shem Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Jerusalem. Well, shalom to the elect.